Hello, and welcome to Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you are not getting the results you are looking for from your digital marketing efforts, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's the host of our show, the local business guy himself, Frank Deming.
Hello, everyone. This is Frank Deming, the local business guy, and welcome to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Happy Hump Day. Hope you guys are having a rockin' week thus far. Today, I want to talk to you about something that has been in my inbox constantly for the past 3 months, actually. From my clients, not something that you particularly, my audience has asked for. I will get to those as well. But some of my clients have been asking these things. As you guys know, I also do consulting work for local businesses, for small businesses. Sometimes we do a done for you service, and then sometimes we do what's called a consulting, where we help maybe the marketing arm of that company on how to do certain things. So this topic came because for the last 3 months, people are looking to capitalize on social media trends. And it's becoming something that happens a lot. Questions that's popped up a lot for me. So I decided to, let's make it a topic of conversation, because if they're asking me, I know other people must be thinking it as well. So think no further. Here are the answers. I'm going to give you 5 social media trends that you want to capitalize on this year and beyond. Before we get to that, I want you guys to remember that Epic 2021 is an event that's going on in Las Vegas. I believe it's the 28th and the 29th of October. So it's the last week of October. It's primarily for HVAC companies. So the HVAC companies, you go to this event. It's very, very, very good. And you learn a lot about positioning your business properly. You're gonna have businesses there from all the way from startup all the way through $100 million in revenue. So you're gonna be equipped properly if you go to this event. Just head on over to my show notes. In my show notes, you'll see the link for Epic 2021. Link it and just register for that event. I think if you are an HVAC business, actually they do stuff for other contractors as well, but they're primarily for HVAC. So if you have an HVAC business, you will benefit from that immensely, tremendously. Before we get to today's topic, I also want to mention one more thing, so that way you start benefiting from this. If you head over to our website and go to lbmsllc.com/book, or you click on the show notes there, you can do that too as well. I want you guys to purchase my book, 7 Steps to Recession-Proofing Your Business. It's a $15 charge, but the thing that goes with that now is that you're going to get a free business eval, marketing eval, that is, where we're going to do a total deep dive for you. We're going to suggest a couple of things of what you can do in 2022, how you actually can really get off to a great start in 2022, or maybe start doing some stuff now that we want to do. That's why we're promoting this now. We really want you to benefit from this, because it's something that we know that you're going to need going into 2022. The competition is fierce, and that's why we're doing it. And so head on over to my website, lbmsllc.com/book. Purchase the book. Once you purchase the book, we'll get to a series of emails where we will be able to get in touch with you so we can sit down and plan a date where we can actually do an evaluation for you. It was 100% free. That is a $500 value. So just by requesting the book, you don't not only get the book, you also get this awesome setup. So head on over there right now. All right. So before so let's get all that thing. Let's get that all out of the way. The whole housekeeping stuff, as I always do in the beginning of the show. I want to talk to you about 5 marketing social media trends to capitalize on. Okay, I'm going to give you some stats here. As you guys know, I'm a huge advocate of stats. Huge advocate of stats. So social media is basically an incredible, powerful tool. As you know, if you use it correctly, they're basically change makers across the globe, and it's becoming it's becoming a new thing. Not a new thing. It's becoming a habit for everyone. People wake up, first thing they do is check their Twitter feed, they check their Facebook feed, their Instagram feed, whatever, And really and truly, the numbers don't lie. So this is why this is why I keep being asked of this, because people are using social media and they're not seeing a result. A, because they're probably not being advised properly. or B, they really don't know the cool things too. So here's the thing, the numbers don't lie. And this is why you want to be somewhere with social media in terms of attracting new customers or just putting information out there about your business. Okay, more than 3.6 billion people were using social media worldwide. Are using social media worldwide. 3.6 billion. This number is actually expected to surge to almost 4.4 billion by the year 2025. Okay? And that's because the way smartphones and internet penetration is growing, this is why this is going to soar. Some other interesting data that I found on the internet is that users spend 144 minutes checking social media per day on average. So of the 3.6 billion, on average, people are spending 144 minutes per day checking social media. Okay. So at this point, it's hard to imagine living in a world right now where there's no social media. Okay, people rely on it now, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but I just want to make sure that you understand the impact of this tool and why you want to start using it more effectively. And we're going to, there are other things that we want to talk about, but these are 5 trends that you want to take notice of and then start to capitalize on. Okay. So it's just the way it is. It's where we're living in a social media era, period. Whether you like it or not. I've had clients tell me, well, Frank, I don't want to be on social media. I don't think that's where my audience is. And I beg to differ. 3.6 billion people are using it worldwide already, and is projected to go up to 4.4 billion by the year 2025. So yes, you are incorrect, unfortunately, the ones who think that it's not happening. Okay. So let's talk about social media trends as a whole. Okay, social media trends can change very quickly. Okay, so that's one thing I want you to realize. So as I give you this content today, understand that trends are trends. So you want to take advantage of a lot of stuff that I'm talking about today right now. As soon as this episode's over, I want you to start implementing some of the stuff I'm talking about, okay? If you're not already doing it when we get to it. So It's basically the reason why it's a rapid changing entity, the trends. When I'm talking about trends here, not just social media, I'm talking about the trends of what's driving influence, what's driving traffic, what's driving phone calls, etc., etc. But it's the reason why it's changed partially. The reason why it's changed rapidly, the trends anyway, is due to networks. Okay, see, the networks keep adding new features and changing algorithms. When I mean by networks, I mean the platforms, Facebook, Twitter, etc., etc. They keep changing features, changing algorithms, and they do this because they want to meet their business objectives. Okay, so remember, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, etc., Instagram, these are all businesses. So they have objectives to meet. So this is why these trends always change. So the thing is that any of these changes that we talked about could flip and change the whole brand's marketing strategy. Your brand's marketing strategy is what I'm talking about because of these trends. So you want to stay on top of this stuff at all times. I actively have, and just to put it in perspective, I have a team of people who they manage my social media for me, and they're constantly doing this all the time. Well, this is what they do. Focusing on the trends, seeing what's working, seeing what's not. Hey, Frank, I saw this thing on BuzzFeed or whatever. What do you think? You think we should take advantage of it, et cetera, et cetera. So these are the things that you kind of have to have. And if you don't have a department to do it for you, I say you outsource it. Outsource it to a digital marketing agency. That's what they do. I mean, that's how you stay on top of it. Because trends that emerge due to something going viral can fizzle, okay? And they can fizzle out pretty quickly. So remember that, just as an example, you guys all, and I'm sure you guys all remember that whole ice bucket challenge. People would get like doused with ice cold water just to raise awareness and donations for ALS charities, right? So they would also nominate other people in a video, which is how the ice bucket challenge went viral. Okay, so they got like various iterations of the challenge that had been like floating online for years. Okay, it was only in, I think, 2014. I got to check this. That this trend actually went viral across the globe. And here's the thing that a lot of people, and I'm going to give you some more data here, so just so you understand how trends go. And this is just one type of trend, okay? Over $220 million was raised worldwide for ALS Sweet Search, just with that. Think about that power. Think about that influence. Check this out. In 2015, an attempt was actually made by several ALS organizations in the U.S. to reintroduce the challenge. But here's the thing. It wasn't successful because the trend had fizzled out by the time they did this. So they waited 1 year and then that trend fizzled out. And then, and social media users simply didn't respond in the same way that it did the previous year. So, and that's just a 1 year thing. So I'm telling you this only because trends are important to take advantage right then and there. And if you can have, a few people that maybe not that just dedicated to finding out what the trends are and stuff like that in your staff member, or maybe just dealing with social media in general is enough, I think. And then finding out trends with that can be so beneficial for your business is beyond belief. Okay, so that was just an example. I wanted to give you the ALS challenge numbers so you see the examples. See, the thing is that we have to continue to adapt. Okay, we have to rethink our strategies. We have to rethink the strategies that's relevant for 2021, 2022, etc. You've got to think about the shift that has happened due to COVID-19 pandemic. And I'm talking about now. So that's what we have to do. Okay. Well, that's what we have to do. It's all about research. See, successful marketing campaigns, whether you are on social media, pay-per-click marketing, SEO, successful marketing campaigns is it all depends on the amount of research you do. I can tell you this. I've studied this. I've been in business, like I said, almost 14 years. And I can tell you how important this is. I can tell you this is very, very important. So I'm going to talk to you about 5 social media trends that I want you to start following now before it dies. Okay. And if people say, well, Frank, are we too late? No, you're not too late because these trends are still going strong. Okay. And they'll probably go into 2022. But I want you to start taking action now. Okay. The number one thing is live streams. So video content really took off in 2020. I mean, it was really on the uprise already, but when people were forced indoors by the pandemic, it just really just skyrocketed. So suddenly everything from work to school, and even catching up with friends can only be done through, say, video call. So, FaceTime, if you've got WhatsApp, if you got any of things like that. People were having like Zoom parties and all this stuff, right? Just to connect. People also have more free time since they had to, be indoors. So this meant that they consumed more video content. See, artists turned to live streams. Artists for performances, while the singers performed like impromptu virtual concerts and all that stuff. So this shift is in consumer behavior has actually carried over into 2021 and still going. And here we are, we're in September, and this is still going. And this is a trend that I don't see dying anytime soon. See, a lot of people now prefer interacting with their favorite brands live without having to leave their home. And live streaming will maybe, in my opinion, live streaming will continue to become more popular, and businesses should actually make it a part of their strategy this year, continuing, and at least till the first quarter of next year, 2022, at least. And then we got to reevaluate the trends. This is something that you always have to reevaluate. Remember that I told you about the ALS thing, so you got to reevaluate. Okay. Or ask me and I'll tell you what's trending. Anyway, number 2 is, video. I'm going to continue with the video kick, but I'm just talking about regular video. So regular video. So one of the reasons why, say, conventional blogs are finding it hard to thrive is that people simply prefer consuming video content now. That's what, we saw this coming a few years ago. People are just rather consume video content now. So YouTube is the world's most popular resource for, for information and entertainment content, or just about everything under the sun. Basically, YouTube. You could do some how-to videos. It's amazing. The other day, a friend of mine was saying, I had a problem with my AC, and I just went on YouTube, and it was a guy was showing me how to fix this thing, and it worked. I just went to buy a part. Boom! It was amazing. So YouTube is renowned for a lot of different things, but informational, like I said, entertainment, etc., etc. So YouTube is actually extremely saturated now, though. So you want to look elsewhere if you'd like your video content to stand out. Okay. And that's the truth. So there are plenty of other social video channels that provide access to, like say a wide audience. So you want to tailor your video content for channels like IGTV, Instagram Reels, Twitter Fleets, etc. Okay. And don't forget about TikTok. TikTok is actually raising. I mean, I did a whole episode on TikTok. Maybe you should check it out. Just if you've been following me, just scroll through and you'll see my whole episode on TikTok. But that's another platform where you can use video. Okay, so you want to utilize all of these different social media channels to reach out to new audiences. So, the thing is that you may also find that engagement rates may be higher on these channels compared to, say, YouTube, since it's very saturated, like I said earlier. And it's just a lot more easier with these other platforms also to share content than it is on YouTube. And I think Google's got to take a look at that, because it is not as easy to share YouTube. Anyway, I digress. I don't want to talk too much about that, but you get the gist. You want to use video. It's very trending. You want to use video in your social channels, IGTV, Instagram Reels, etc., and Facebook, just video marketing, and even LinkedIn and everything. Just use video. Okay, just use video. That's the trend, and that's not something I don't think that's something that's going away soon. So one of the things that except for the number one, that may go with the live streams, but video is doing video content like a vlog versus a blog that's not going to go away, because they just want to consume that. So another thing that I don't think that's going to go away is number 3. And again, these are just trends, so don't hold me to it. But number 3 is get social commerce. Okay, social media networks basically have transformed the way people are purchasing things now. Okay, let me give you an example of what I mean. A customer actually might like, say, a hat worn by like their favorite influencer, let's say, right? Then they can click on the product tag, let's say, in the influencer's like post, to be instantly taken to the brand's shop, say on Facebook. Okay, this is just an example. And then they can purchase the hat right there, and then without even ever switching tabs. That's pretty cool. And so the social media influence, they've been really, really growing in the whole e-commerce space now. So you want to think of ways to sell your services through this. And there are many ways. I mean, this is so simple to do it now. That was just an example with the hat and everything. But they've made, if you're an attorney, you can do this just by, having ways of people finding you on social so they can buy your services off of social. I mean, it's just something that is trending, and I don't see this trend coming out anytime soon. Number 4, you want to create content that resonates with your customers. And again, content marketing is it's very huge. Okay, so we gotta have that in the back of our head. Content marketing is huge. So as one of the trends I want to talk to you about is create content that resonates with your customers. A lot of people have become more, say, mindful about their place in the world post this pandemic. Okay. See, they actually understand that we as a species need to, change things in order to ensure that the survival of our future to make sure of the survival of our future generation, period. And that's the truth. I mean, we can argue with mask, no mask, and all that, and this is not what this is not all about. But this pandemic has made huge changes, right? So there are more empathy and thoughtfulness in their actions now. I'm noticing that throughout everywhere I go here in New Jersey and outside of New Jersey, etc. They're now even more likely to support businesses that share the same social values. And it's all, again, this, I call it post-pandemic world, but we're kind of still in it because we're still kind of, not normal XYZ, but let's call it quasi post-pandemic, okay? But here's the thing. Now is the time to show a more relatable side of your business, okay? You want to highlight the efforts that you make for, say, environmental protection, for example, or the social responsibility projects you've, initiated to, help people in the community, let's say. You want to talk about the brand's larger purpose or highlight customer stories to form a deeper connection with your audience. And you want to do this via content on social media, whatever your favorite social platform is, or maybe all of them, It doesn't have to be one. Maybe it could be all. I don't know. But you want to do stuff like this because it resonates with them. That's the reason why you want to do it. And now this is more trendy. Okay, this is trendy, but this strategy doesn't go away. You just have to know what the trends are when you can produce these content. Like right now, it's all about what's your social status on your social position on the environment, the protection of people and sickness and COVID and yada, yada, yada. But tomorrow could be something totally different. But the strategy number 4 is what I'm trying to focus on here because, or teach you, because that's what's important. Okay. So number 5 is that you want to launch, say, purpose-driven campaigns. And I've talked about this on other episodes, but let me give you a brief thing here before we close this episode. And number 5 is an interesting one. And I wasn't going to put it on because it's a little bit controversial or a little bit confusing. But I said, you know what? I need to share with you everything. So 74% of respondents in a Twitter survey said that they prefer brands to showcase an act of kindness. So brands that are seen to be supporting society during a crisis actually invoke a more positive perception among customers. So purpose-driven social media campaigns are thus a great way to for brands, to elevate themselves. So this can be, like, say, achieved through support for, say, vulnerable members of the community, or through support for a cause that people care deeply about. Okay. Now, when you do this, you got to remember to be authentic, okay? And when you do all of these, especially number 5, you have to remember to be authentic. Authenticity, to me, and I'm sure most of you will agree, goes a long way when you're online. So all of the content, all the campaigns, and particularly those related to, say, issues or crisis, they have to be, they must be genuine and authentic. Okay. Your audience shouldn't feel that, that the brand is simply jumping on the bandwagon to increase its visibility. So when you have, when you're doing this thing, make sure you're doing it with authenticity. So that's all I have for you today. But before I let you go, I want to go over these 5 again. And because this is important, again, this came up for the last 3 months with clients of mine. So I said, you know what, let me make an episode. So the 5 social media trends that you should be following, okay? This year and all the way into maybe even the first quarter of 2022. Number 1, you want to continue doing the live streams. If you're not already doing them, start doing them now. If you're doing them already, continue doing them. Okay. Number 2, start to produce video content. Okay, because people, the blog reading is on a dip, and that's definitely on the rise. So let's continue doing this. Number 3, you want to get on the social commerce bandwagon. Come up with a way. And if this is not for you, and if you can't come up with something like this, I can understand it. Like some businesses this doesn't work for, but for the ones that this is a no-brainer to, just hop on it. If you don't think it's a no-brainer for you, give us a call. We'll help you figure something out. We love this stuff. Figure something creative. Number 4, you want to create content that resonates with your customers. Okay, make sure that it's something that's heartfelt. Number 5, you want to launch a purpose-driven campaign. Okay, what is the purpose of this campaign? What are you helping? Who are you helping? So 4 and 5 are kind of tied together, and you kind of have to tie those together when you're doing this. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did enjoy this episode, if you think you learned something that can benefit other people that are in business, do me a favor. I want you to share this episode and share this podcast with them, so that way they can enjoy it just as well. I also wish that you can bookmark this episode, subscribe to this episode, so anytime to this podcast, so because anytime a new episode comes out, you are notified, and that way you don't miss out. So with that, folks, I wish you guys nothing but the best. Until next week, this has been Frank Deming, the local business guy. Take care, folks, and bye for now. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. Don't forget, any links that were mentioned during the broadcast will be available to you in the show notes, so be sure to grab them while you have the chance. Incidentally, if you have any topics that you would like for us to discuss on the show, be sure to send an email to the email provided in the show notes, or click the Contact Us link and let us know what topic you would like us to help you with, and we'll be sure to add it to our schedule. If you would like for Frank and his team to look at your digital marketing presence and give you a free evaluation, simply click the Request a Free Consultation link in the show notes to get a hold of them. That being said, until our next episode, make it a successful digital marketing day. Peace out.